Conduit Prime. And Becky, how are you feeling today about today's game?
I'm feeling okay. I will say, gonna get ahead of the biased Becky accusations. I do know players on the Flannel roster, so
Okay.
I've played with one of them in the past, and the other I've casted with actually. So I do know these players, but I will not let that cloud my judgment because I would rate them lower if due to that fact. But don't worry about that. I'm just excited to see what these two teams are going to bring to the table this game.
Mm,
The Gold League is always super exciting because a lot of weird things just happen. A lot of
true.
weird picks, a lot of weird bands. Skarner, that's Skarner, right?
Yep, that is definitely Skarner. That's the new update.
Is Skarner's enabled?
Yep, Skarner is enabled for this week. It was a 2-week ban, I believe, and Skarner is available, and getting rid of it immediately on the side of Flannel Zephyr, I definitely encourage that. And at the same time, picking up the hyper carry, that is Jinx, still a very dominant ADC, of course. And I think both of those are really good moves. And I definitely agree with it. Do not let the Skarner in. He is just absolutely busted right now. And I think we're going to see him permanently banned for this entire series if we
Yeah.
get all the way to a game 3.
Yeah, would not surprise me. I will say, as a reminder for those in the audience who may not be aware, this is on a new patch. A patch went out yesterday, I believe. So there were a decent amount of changes. This was the MSI patch that went through, so they tried to hit a lot of different things and shake up the meta as best as they can. So we'll see if it has any effect here. Probably won't, but
No.
we might see some small adjustments.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, item buys or specific bands like Skarner coming out, 100%.
All right, so as we go into round 2 of bans here, we haven't really talked too much about the compositions. Jinx, aside from Jinx getting picked there, in the bot lane we have Jinx and Kevbo on Blitzcrank. And on the red side, we have Conduit Prime with a Lulu Varus bot lane, and then the Mordekaiser was picked up, technically a flex. So interested to see what they decide to do with that.
Yep, definitely. And I believe this is also the new patch with the Mordekaiser updates as well, where the QSS does not work. You cannot get out of the Mordekaiser ulti. Olaf R doesn't work. Nothing works to get out of there. So it is going to be interesting to see how they adapt and how they play to this new Mordekaiser as well. And Conduit has some really strong, disengage and hard engage as well between the Amumu, the Lulu, and the Mordekaiser here. He can get the prime, targets on the side of Flannel, send him to Brazil. Go ahead and takes one person out for at least 7 seconds there, gets their stats, has the chance to 1v1, and most of the time that does go in Mordekaiser's favor. But, I think between the Blitzcrank and, the TF and the Udyr, they're looking for maybe like more picks. They're looking to definitely get some nice global ultis coming in from TF. Definitely want to get some early action as well, possibly with the Blitzcrank pull. So, I'm possibly seeing like a more early game, and then of course, Jinx, all she has to do is just sit back in farm or in lane, as long as she's not dying, and if she's even in farm, she's gonna just hyperscale and do exactly what Jinx is supposed to do. And then also, icing on top, you have the J4 as well for that early ganking potential. So I think that bot lane on the side of Flannel definitely has a lot of pressure. Lulu Varus is gonna have to play it back, play it safe. They have a lot of poke, they have a lot of shielding as well, but is that going to be enough to save them from all of that hard engage on the side of Flannel? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, Flannel have definitely picked a composition that is going to try and kill you into outer space, and hopefully you don't survive. Lulu is one of those champions that can definitely help you survive, with their shield and the wild growth. Echo is going to be somebody who is just kind of innately hard to kill because he can go back in time, negates a lot of heavy burst if he's not locked down. He can just click the button, and then all of that burst you threw into him, for the most part, just gets completely erased. So I think that's, with the champions currently picked for Flannel, I do actually like the Echo as a pickup here. However, I will say that leaves Conduit's composition as very magic damage heavy. Even the Varus has quite a lot of magic damage, so Udyr is going to be able to pick up a lot of his favorite items with absolutely no regard for, oh, I might need to build an armor item here. No, you do not. You can build a lot of those really good MR items that Udyr can get away with, and probably will pick up a little bit of armor just to deal with Varus, but otherwise, if I'm Udyr, I'm feeling okay personally.
No, I definitely 100% agree with that assessment. They have a lot of AP on the side of Conduit, and on the other side, Flannel, they have a lot of AD. They have the J4, they have the Udyr, they have the Jinx. The only mixture in there is TF, who could still technically go AD if he theoretically wanted to, but in this case, I definitely think he's going to be going AP TF. So it is going to be interesting how, they're going to go mainly armor items, and they have good front lines also on the side of Conduit, but I do also like the front line from Flannel. I think this is a pretty even matchup between the two. Top lane between, I'm assuming is going to be an Udyr top into the Mordekaiser. It's just going to be two juggernauts, just duking it out. J4 definitely is known a little bit more for his earlier ganks than Echo, but Echo still has that potential as well, so he has to be mindful, and I think we're going to see a lot more action on the top side this game, more so than anywhere else, unless those Blitzcrank hooks land, then, I think it's going to be pretty safe to assume that Jinx is just going to farm, do what she needs to do. Varus definitely doesn't want to overstep because the Blitzcrank pull at any time, plus that J4 TF after level 6 gank potential is a little bit too grand. So I think, a lot of the action this side, or game number 1, is going to be on the top side here. But I'm very much looking forward. And I know you said you had a little bias towards Flannel Zephyr. Maybe not in the best ways, but, some bias. But looking at the composition in an unbiased Becky way, who are you giving game number 1 to?
Well, I will believe in the Kevbo crank. I will believe in Udyr, one of my favorite champions.
Okay.
I do think that Conduit Prime have a very, very straightforward composition. They have a lot of good buttons with the Chains of Corruption and the Curse of the Sad Mummy. But I do think that if it really comes down to if Varus can play well, if Flannel is able to get onto this Varus and take him down, there really isn't a whole lot else Conduit Prime have unless the Echo gets rolling. If the Echo gets rolling, they'll have him, but it's kind of hard. Compositions that are like a single threat comp in most cases, I don't always trust them, but we'll see.
Okay. No, definitely agree with that. It is going to be difficult for them to even get to Varus to begin with. Like you said, Curse of the Sad Mumming, Chain of Corruption's coming in from Varus. They have a lot of CC. Mordekaiser also pulling out the ultis, and Lulu can polymorph. She has the ultis to make everyone bigger, knock everyone up. Like, there's a lot to get through to get to that high damage that is Varus, their high damage ADC there. But it is going to be up to them, and I think that they have enough tools damage-wise to get through that front line. They don't necessarily have to hop onto the back line, that they can just go ahead and plow through that front line. The Amumu, the Echo, the Mordekaiser, they do have that survivability on them. It's just going to be the positioning, really, from the Varus and the Jinx, the two ADCs on both sides of the spectrum, and where they're going to be positioned. If they can get to that back line, which really neither team can, it's just going to be about how much damage output can these ADCs get to. But while we get ready for the in-game delay and all the other spectator things by our wonderful Ols here, we are going to cut it to a short break. Becky and I will be right back with all the action. Do not go anywhere. Alrighty, welcome back, all of you wonderful, wonderful people. It is your boy Ryline and Becky Rita bringing y'all all the action. BOL Gold Week number 7. Flannel Zephyr on blue side, Conduit Prime on red here for game number 1. And it looks like we have a nice spread out 5-point start coming in from the side of Zephyr. And I thought we were going to see some sneakiness coming in from Conduit, but not quite.
Yeah, no sneaking going on right now. No dishonest gameplay at the moment.
My goodness.
That was the loudest sound effect I've ever heard in my entire life.
That Mastery level 7 deafened me, so thank you for that, Jinx. Much appreciated.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you, Jinx. Very cool. Oh, we do have a stop. So yeah, both sides here just gonna have a pretty standard start. Crank not going for anything too overly ambitious here. Wouldn't have found a whole lot anyways, I would say. The side of Conduit didn't allow themselves necessarily to get cranked, so
True. Can't argue with that.
Stun went down into the Amumu, but not really a whole lot else. So looking around at some of these choices here, nothing really stands out. I believe that is hail. Is that a hail of blades on the Echo? I'm looking at a 240p stream, so
that is the hail of blades. I was gonna mention if there's anything that really stood out to you. No flashes on top sides either.
No flashes on top side. It's 2 ghosts. Both these champions do like to run ghosts, so at any point this lane could turn into a fiesta in topside. Whoever gets the early advantage can just run the other over. But yeah, Hail of Blades on Echo allows him to proc his passive super quickly. He's going to be looking to go for these very quick, small trades, I would say, into the Twisted Fate here. So anytime he can get a moment, he tags Q, he jumps in instantly, even just like a tag on Q, and he does just walks close, even Eing in, then proccing passive off of autos. Very good just amount of damage to throw into the Twisted Fate. Because otherwise, Twisted Fate is able to kind of just sit in this lane and do nothing. He's not super threatened, I would say, but Amumu might be trying to threaten Kevbo down here.
Uh-oh, yeah, they gotta be careful of that. Nice flank coming in. The flash knockup coming in, though, from Kevbo. Kevbo, though, is gonna be the target. That is really low. Blitzcrank still has his sums, but no, definitely has to get out of there. I'm sorry, he only had Hex Flash. And let's see now, they have the focus turned onto the Jinx, but they don't want to bite off more than they can chew as J4 makes his way into the lane for his kind of hurt comrade there. But... yeah, I was going to say, also, does the passive... Oh, man, though, tower shot...
Oh, no.
Yep, and Ignite and Flash both used, unfortunately, there by Razor's life. Unfortunate.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful about those turret ranges. Sometimes you gotta go and play do some bot blasting to get a refresher on what that looks like. But yeah, no, that was definitely unfortunate, I would say, for sorry, I'm adjusting some things here.
You're good. Oh, hold on 1 second though. J4 though was still sneaking around the bot lane. Lulu kind of caught out a little bit. Flashes, has the heal and the shields. Wow, waiting for it. J4 said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, donate this kill to you. And with that little bit of charity, Lulu was able to sneak right out, take advantage of that, and just escape with their life. Very nice. Both sums used, though, on Helium, and, I mean, that's totally worth if it's not giving up a kill, especially to a Jinx early on. But does the Echo passive out-damage what Electrocute would do? So, does Halo Blades actually make more sense in this circuit? I know you're not, an Echo mid-player. I'm just kind of think out loud. Like you said, the TF is able to go ahead and do more damage, having the Electrocute and kind of favor it in these trades, but not too sure about the Halo Blades there on that one on Razor.
Yeah, not too sure about that. I can get the theory, and I was trying to explain the theory there, but even then, I would much rather have Phase Rush or Electrocute or anything, First Strike. There are several runes I would consider before going for the Hail of Blades, as Kevbo does walk in. But yeah, it's definitely more for looking for those little bit of bursty, small trades where you can find a lot of different opportunities. It gives you a bit more flexibility than Electrocute, but at least early on, you know, it might be. We'll have to see if it does really have that much of an impact one way or the other. For the moment, though, we're gonna see the Drake getting started by J4 on the bot side. On the top side, first round of Grubbins not quite spawned yet, but Hoodie Man, he's in a decent position to pick that one up. But yeah, for right now, the game's slowed down a little bit here as both teams are just trading neutral objectives. Level 6 on the Twisted Fate, so it's time to start looking for those potential opportunities. I imagine Twisted Fate at this point, he's going to start fishing for some of those kills, especially in the bot side. Once if Varus decides to not be pinned under tower, or even they could look for a potential dive with the Destiny Gate, but unsure exactly when they will look to make that happen. But with that said, not a whole lot.
Like you said, this is a pretty slow game as of right now. I mean, Jinx is in a really good position currently, doing exactly what all Jinx players need to do. Oh, yep, not having the curse of the sad mummy, unfortunately. And Echo did not learn his lesson the first time, taking 2 tower shots. God. And here we go, having only a level 4 J4. The flash forward does get the EQ combo, and Bagoot has slain Razor, and that is really nice because he was falling behind a little bit in the CS department. You know, and making it up with that kill is really good. The ultimate being popped here by Mordekaiser, not quite able, never mind. One more tick of the passive there, and he was able to go ahead and get the kill. Oh, unfortunately, the EQ combo not landing again, as Mumu is up 1 level over the over the J4 due to the fact that he is just able to steal the farm earlier while they were getting Drake, and he has a kill as well. But matching that kill, the goal lead should have shrunk a little bit now. And I like the damage output also coming in from J4. He's trying to find early opportunities for his team because he knows later on that's where I kind of fall off. So if I can go ahead and get you guys ahead a little bit sooner, like you mentioned earlier, have TF moving around the map a little bit. Now that you have your ultimate, it makes you a little bit more global. And now that he's you know, ahead in kills and he has an assist on top of it, Echo was kind of able to come back in CS a little bit, but he did have a 10 CS lead over the Echo earlier. But, you know, still a phenomenal job right now Zephyr has found himself in on blue, at least starting off. And Jinx having a 20 CS lead over the Varus in bot lane. That's at least 1 kill equivalent's worth of gold. So she is doing phenomenal to go ahead and scale her way into the mid game there. And having an early chem take, I mean, that never hurts, you know?
Yeah, definitely does not hurt having any kind of early advantage like that. But yeah, two kills on both sides right now. The Echo getting a little bit of the treatment right now, as Twisted Fate getting closer to what I assume will be a Roa. Typically what you see Twisted Fate go for first, just because levels are pretty good for him. He wants to get as much, you know, a good amount of survivability, so when he Destiny Gates in, he's not just a sitting duck. And it also gives him just the extra levels, which actually does benefit him because it allows him to put more levels into both his W and his Q earlier, which helps speed up his clears ever so slightly. So that's what he wants to see happening.
Now,
the Destiny was popped there. I don't know if it was a misclick that we saw the Destiny get used. I'm guessing they were just like, maybe they were scouting for something, or there's like a potential opportunity in the river. I didn't quite see anything. It looked like there was nothing, personally, but
I think he was just scouting. Let's trying to get a feel for like where everyone was. I mean, I know there was no objectives up on the map, so it made it a little bit confusing, but one thing I have to say, final captain on this Mordekaiser is a final boss, definitely. Like, oh, hold on 1 second. Chain of Corruption is being popped onto the bot side there. Yeah, Regdor has to cleanse, has to flash, does everything he can to make it out of there with just about 20% health left. J4 trying to find an answer to that little bit of fury that was matched there. There's a ward in the upper tri-bush, so if he makes his way up, they are going to be able to see him. Oh, they're going to step up. Blitzcrank's going to go ahead and step over. Oh, Polymorph gets popped, but With those Merc tread boots, it was only for just half a second, and once again, not learning from their mistakes the first time, or maybe this time they do. They said, hey, we have the tank, we have the shields, and TF actually does fall this time to a 2-man gank into the mid lane here. I like taking advantage of the chaos. You know what I mean? Like, as one side of the map has action, somebody else somewhere is taking advantage of that action. You know, whether it's a 3v2 in the bot lane, to make it a 2v1 into the mid lane, or like a 2v1 into the top side, like something is happening somewhere and answering it very nicely. So, you know, kudos to both these teams. It's only a 400 gold difference between the two at the moment. I mean, these two teams are playing out of their minds right now. 2 to 3 on the board, 11 minutes in. It's a relatively slower game than what we're used to seeing here. But while I say that,
it keeps going.
Mordekaiser, pops the ultimate, flashes over the wall though to get to safety. Oh, no! He comebacks over. Oh my god, that was so clutch. FNL Tyler definitely not expecting that. FNL more like FML, and down he goes, giving another kill on over to Conduit. But once again, taking advantage of the chaos. Zephyr is going to go ahead and start the Mountain Drake, the second dragon of the game here. And I think they're going to take it uncontested. So great macro.
As it turns out, Blitzcrank's on both teams. It's just he just pulled Twisted Fate over the wall there. That was very either impressive or unfortunate. One or the other. I'm not quite sure. I think a little bit of both. As we do have a pause. Speaking of unfortunate, looks like there was a DC from the support.
A little bit of technical difficulties, but yes, that was phenomenal. I mean, the flash over the wall, smart, because, hey, what's he going to do? Waste time running around? He has 7 seconds. I'm just going to wait here. And I didn't even know that interaction was possible with the Mordekaiser E. He said, get back over here, Scorpion style. I'm going to go ahead and pull you over this wall. And then, of course, right as soon as the ultimate ended, his 2 other teammates were able to go ahead and lock down and secure that kill for him. So, I mean, early on, what is it? 4-2 currently on the map. That is definitely not a bad look right now. Conduit with a slight lead with that kill puts them at about a 1,200 gold lead, and that's 2-0 on the Amumu and 2-0 on the Mordekaiser right now, while it's 1-0 on the J4 and the other kill going to the TF in the mid lane. But Jinx, even though she has no kills, once again has a 20 farm lead consistently over the Varus here, and it looks like they were able to get those technical difficulties, you know, flushed out, and we might have a little slight pause once again just to catch back up, but don't even worry about that, folks. It's not your PC in your hardware.
Be prepared. We get to analyze a paused frame, which is my favorite. Oh wait, never mind. We're not gonna get a pause frame. How sad. One of my favorite moments in casting with spectator bugs is for the pause frames. We do have a dive.
Oh no, yes we do, and that is a nice 3-man dive.
Let him out! Let Kevbo out! No!
Kevbo, no. Unfortunately, the Cataclysm, you know, it is a 2-for-1 there. You're trapped in here with me, and I'm trapped in here with you and your tower. We have all members coming, though, onto the bot lane. Helium and Valak both are going to face the Fury. That is Zephyr here. Another nice knockup done by the J4 here. Sidesteps the Super Mega Death Rocket, still able to go ahead and survive. Curse of the Sad Mummy. FNL says, this is for my death earlier. I'm going to get at least 1 kill here, but oh no, Bagoot unfortunately overstepping. There goes a nice gold card to stop. Does have the Blossom, but pops it the wrong direction. The flash forward. A nice Q lands, and that is definitely not worth it as Conduit rises now 4-7. I said we had a slow start. I said we didn't have a lot of kills. Maybe this is the consistency of the game. And they said, Ryline, hold my beer, please. And we're going to go ahead and pop off.
The dives are horrifying to execute. I will say this as a professional gold player myself. Dives are terrifying because you think that everything is gonna go great, and then you know something like that happens where it's like, well, I can't exactly let Blitzcrank out of the J4 pit, and then well, we can't hit Lulu. She's kind of at 1 HP. We can't get close for the Jinx rockets, and then now the rest of their team's there, and we've all died. So it's I think the start of that dive was really solid. The Blitzcrank dying was unfortunate. The redive was really good, but Lulu just survived with 1 HP, which hurt them so much there because it allowed her to just buy a ton of time, which allowed Hoodie Man to get there. Eventually, Razors was able to roam down. And once they were able to do that, it was just a matter of attempting to clean up whoever they could on the way out. And unfortunately for FNL Tyler, that blast plant, he was just a little bit too off on the angle. I think if he had waited a second to try and, reposition himself, he had a little moment there to do that, and it would have knocked Echo back as well. But either way, sometimes you make a play. It's better to make plays and whiff them than not make any plays at all, unless the plays you make are disastrous. That wasn't disastrous, though. It was close.
It was unfortunate. Right. It was teetering disastrous.
Yeah, I will say the important part is that it's given Regdor a massive lead as the Jinx this game. The amount of pressure they've applied into Varus, pinning him under tower, forcing him back, killing him even with that huge kind of, a little bit of a blunder in the dive, it's put him down 12k, or 12 hundo, which is really good for Regdor because that means the Jinx is going to be online so much sooner than maybe Conduit Prime are ready for.
That is very true. Jinx, like we said, super hyper scaling, definitely one of the best ADCs, especially late game. And oh no vision here. Bagoot's gonna go ahead and walk right into that Mordekaiser ulti. Final captain. He is like, yes, look at me. I am the captain now. This is just absolutely relentless. The slows coming in from the Rylai's. And Hoodie Man said, you know what? Let me get a friendly little kill steal here. Regdor, though, facing a lot. And yeah, Razor's going to go ahead and pick that one up with the Ignite here, as that is going to be a 2-4-0 pickup. Conduit Prime, like you said, this is not what they're ready for at all. Jinx, she was looking really good, but unfortunately, Zephyr, is the only one currently that is like the hyper scale. And great hook after that engage, though, onto Hoodie Man. Hoodie Man able to hop in to the Rift Herald, turns it around to try to do something. That was insane movement. What was that? Another gold card, though. Unfortunately, going to land onto the final captain. Captain, though, doing everything he can. Super Mega Dot Rocket comes from afar. Everyone is spread across. There goes the Jinx Rockets. J4 picks up the shutdown gold onto the Mordekaiser. Hoodie Man, with just a sliver of health left, walks out of there. Only one death. That was the captain himself. And they do walk on out of there. And Dragon is going to be started here. The third one, potentially, actually, not even potentially, definitely being picked up by Zephyr. This is like the best that you can make out of the worst situation right now. They have done a great job securing the Dragons. They have at least a tower here. Nobody's picking up the grubs. And they stopped the Rift Herald from being utilized fully. So, like, Zephyr, even though they're losing these team fights, they're only down by 1k gold, not even 800 gold. Like, they're still doing phenomenal. And the third Dragon, we're only 17 minutes in. It looks shaky, but they're setting up an okay game so far.
Yeah, Zephyr are certainly behind in terms of, like, they look behind, I would say. But because of the gold, it's not actually as bad as it looks. Regdor, again, has a pretty sizable lead. Twisted Fate, he illegally prints money with his passive. So he has that. And those two things, plus the really solid objective control, at least around the Drakes, have given Zephyr an actual win condition here. If they get this Ocean Drake, they are in a very solid spot. Ocean is super good for the Udyr in particular. It'll allow them to sort of, if they manage to survive that initial engage from Hoodie Man and Valak and Razors, they can sort of, disengage, throw out the Phoenix ulti, throw out some gold cards, maybe sacrifice Kevbo again, and then they can look to re-engage after healing up with that Ocean. So I definitely do not mind if they are able to get this soul. It's really solid for their team. Only problem is that this Echo has actually been able to pick up a few kills now at this point, is going to be a threat, and we're going to see Razors getting Destiny gated right here, or getting Destiny. They know now where Conduit is. as the gate will be used to go back under turret in the bot side. Meanwhile, on the top side here, Final Captain has been really a threat this game for a lot of the players on this team. He's able to just kind of abduct people. His claws, in particular, have been really solid. There was one earlier where he was able to catch J4 mid-flag drag with the E. Prevented him from getting over the wall and buying himself more time. That was really solid of him. This was like 5 minutes ago at this point. But he's been playing really well in the Mordekaiser, using every tool this champ has to the best of its possible ability. We're gonna see if Null 5 can trade something though. The Kane Rookern was completed. This tier is almost stacked as well, and that will almost certainly become a Fimbulwinter. I don't imagine we're gonna see something weird. I don't know what other tier item Udyr would go.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. But
see Seraph's AP.
Null's doing phenomenal actually in these trades here. I mean, he only has 1 death to the 2-1 and 2 Mordekaiser. So like, he's doing a great job. He's only down by 6 farm technically. Not even technically, literally right there. You can see it. So I mean, he's doing a fantastic job laning against this Mordekaiser. Granted that the Mordekaiser is up 2 kills right now. You know, like you said, all they have to really do is just build up a lot of MR. And they can really cancel out a lot of the damage on the side of Conduit. But another really great thing about having 3 dragons is that you can kind of use that as a bargaining tool, and the ghost flash to escape Bagoot's flag and drag there, and yeah, forcing about both sums before either a Baron fight or the dragon that's going to be up in the next minute and 20 seconds here. That's kind of a big pull here for the side of Zephyr. That's going to be a very immobile Varus, who's already immobile enough. So we'll have to see if J4 is able to take advantage of that. But like I said, the 3 dragons, though, they don't have to necessarily force it. Now, of course, they should. They definitely want to get the soul, secure the 4-0, not give any ocean dragons at all. But if they can't, they can at least achieve other things on the map. And hold on 1 second. Here we go. Razor forced off the ultimate early, but right into the hands of FNL Tyler. The Cataclysm Axe is going to go ahead and get popped. There goes the flash to get out of it. Dashes forward, surviving a little bit longer than I thought he would. Final Captain, though, grabs Bagoot, gets him into the ultimate. Is he going to be able to survive long enough? Yes, he is. No, he is not, unfortunately. Get over here once again. I thought the flag and drag was going to occur to escape, but no. FNL Tyler was able to at least, I believe, secure the 1 kill there for that little skirmish. So it's a 1-for-1 overall, not bad. But that does kind of put him at a disadvantage as the jungler's down for this dragon fight up in 15 seconds. So death timers are equal for the dragon and the jungler. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. They're going to have to give it up. You know, kind of is okay. It's only 1 Ocean Soul. Meanwhile, topside, Udyr is able to go ahead and push out top. So that is good. They're able to secure other things across the map right now. Maybe might look for an early Baron if they're going to go ahead and start the dragon.
Yeah, pings are going to go down. TP's going to go down as well. They are on ward, so they know that this is happening, but there's only Razors up there right now. Yeah, Jinx is going to start shredding it. They did get the ocean. They're moving up the river. They're pretty far away, though. We're at 7,000, but they're not. The damage isn't fast enough.
Oh, the pull over the wall, and Bagoot goes ahead and takes down Razor. Yep, that's 1. That's going to be a 5v4. They have to either choose to stick onto the Baron, which they are choosing to do right now. Another pull forward. That's going to be the Amumu. Team steals the Baron. What was thinking? I had an idea. Bagoot gets the Cataclysm off onto Helium and to Valak, but that is not what you want to do. Triple kill, 3 kills given on over to Valak here. Another great Q is going to land, and that's going to be Null, who's going to be next on the chopping block. Final Captain says, I need at least 1 of these kills as the 4th Quadra, and the ace with the Baron Steel comes through from Conduit. What a blunder from the side of Zephyr. What was that? All you had to do was pull anybody else. Anybody that wasn't the jungler there.
No, I don't even know if it was the pull. Yeah, Hoodie got in with the bandage toss there. The issue is that I think Bagoot smited way too early. Like, that Baron was sitting at 400 HP. Once I saw that smite go down at like 2,000, I was like, yeah, there's no way. Unfortunately, there just wasn't a way to secure it at that point. The issue was, I think, they got it down to 3,000, and then they froze. They had to pick between, do we try and finish this out? Do we think we are able to? Or do we try and stop Hoodie Man? And they were so split on that. There wasn't a decisive call there. And you could see it in kind of the pathing of the players. So we do have a potential...
I don't know.
Yeah,
Razor, pretty mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just looked like a split call there. You saw like, Regdor peel away from the Drake, from the Baron there.
No.
But it was just not enough. And the damage is going to land on to Regdor now. Just from that last fight, Varus has come online and Flannel are flailing.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Jinx was up. She had 2 items. And hold on one second, Captain. Yeah, he is Baron. Yeah, he's level 15 right now, but that is still a tower that they have to respect. They have to be mindful. Nice hook lands on to the Amumu there, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of hard engage. Shutdown being picked up by the TF. FNL Tyler still sitting onto the back line. Razor for Life gets the Blitzcrank, though, and that's going to be a 4v1 right now. Tyler, once again, in an FML situation, as the rest of his team is dead right now. Baron minions still empowered for the next, I think, minute, as they take down that tier 2 and now move to the tier 3 tower. The gold cards to try to stop the inevitable. Regdor's going to try to step on bravishly. Goes ahead and fires some rockets, trying to get some damage. But yeah, no more tower, no more safety. That base is cracked open. Becky, we're 26 minutes in. It's 8-19. And that's a 7k gold lead right now in favor of Conduit. Super Mega Death Rocket, hello.
Got him.
And goodbye.
Got him.
They did.
That's like 400 damage on the post game charts right there. That's value. But geez, things are turning south very fast, and unfortunately, both of these team comps, as we kind of determined early on, are very much like focused around a singular threat. Of course, Twisted Fate can do damage, and of course, Echo can do damage, but both of these teams are really loaded around whether or not their AD carries are in a good position. And for a while there, it was Regdor who had the advantage, but unfortunately, since that Baron flip went so south, it just has been Valek's show since then. Regdor has not been able to do a whole lot in any of these fights, and I don't want to be rude, but I mean, Kevbo, you're my homie. We casted together. What are you doing? Why are we hooking a Mumu? Well, it was
a bandage toss. It looked like a hook.
No, you see, in the Baron, that was a bandage toss. Under turret, that was a hook. Why did we hook a Mumu into our entire team? Like, he got CC'd for a sufficiently long time, but they didn't have the damage to kill him fast enough. And they should know they don't have the damage to kill him fast enough. So he was able to actually get out that Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 3 people. He was in a perfect position. He was pulled into the entire enemy team. So it's just... you gotta be really careful playing Crank. And I think that in hindsight, looking at Conduit's composition here with the pickup of the Amumu, it really does punish the Crank, because Amumu is basically a guy you cannot hook under any circumstance. Otherwise, you lose. So
absolutely,
he's able to just position himself, and Hoodie Man has been being a very good wall in terms of stopping these hooks in their tracks. So it's definitely, we're not seeing this Crank really deliver, I imagine, what Flannel was hoping it would, as now the base will get sieged. First inhib is cracked. Nullify's on top, trying to trade something back, but this is a full tank Udyr. He's not clearing anything anytime soon.
No, he is not, and the whole entire team is now making their way uptown to the top lane here. All 5 members, as they did crack open the base, like you'd mentioned, got the inhib, so those supers will be marching along here shortly, and it's like they have him mapped out. They know exactly where he's going to be before he knows where he's going to be. Oh, great spell immunity, though, to go ahead and try to get out of dodge, but there is so much CC, but he is still the deer. Oh my goodness. Pops the ghost and gets to safety. Couldn't ask for anything better. Got them off, out of the base, went ahead and distracted, was able to push, and just go ahead and not die. Baron, though, is up. We've seen this song. We have seen this dance, except this time it's going to be started by Conduit here. Let's see. Yep, that is a very quick Baron that they are able to just secure with no problem.
Yeah, there's not even going to be an attempt of a contest here. At this point, like, they could go for a flip, but there's just no real reason to. And yeah, I guess I imagine at this point, like, the real only hope is, you know, get what they can off of these objectives, get as much gold as they can off of the map before the resets go through, and then just try and hope they can hold out until the next Drake. The last two Drakes have gone to the way of Conduit Prime, of course, because there just really wasn't a place for Flannel to make it happen, but we have Razors for Life looking to flank as the front side's going to get flash.
Yeah, Kevbo, unfortunately, a little bit too slow with your W passive being your own vice, my friend. And uh-oh, we might have another one here. Yep, that is going to be Null 5 pulled back. But once again, he's the deer. He doesn't stop for nobody. And he is going to go ahead and run right on out of there. I like the movement and at least the macro play working as a whole 5-man squad coming in from the side of Zephyr. You know, they were able to go ahead and get that tier 1 mid tower, even though it is 30 minutes into the game. But they were able to go ahead and secure that tier 2 as well. The only problem is now all the supers are marching into the mid lane, piling up, and they have to go ahead and answer that before they start knocking on the Nexus tower doors, which they will be doing here shortly. And if they do that, they're going to be giving up these tier 2 bot lane towers, potentially even opening up for a another inhib, as well. So they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place on the side of Zephyr. And Null 5 is going to go ahead and step in between that rock and hard place, and he does find himself caught out. That's a lot of CC. Once again, the deer, very fast, very shieldy, but definitely not enough against 5 members. But a hook is going to land very nice in the the enlarge goes in from Lulu there, so that's gonna be one ulti down, but that sieging power is just absolutely relentless coming in. The Barons, the empowered minions, the super minions, pressure coming in from mid lane as well, and this looks like a nice clean up for game number 1 for Conduit. All they have to do is close it out, allowing those cannons to go ahead and barrage the Nexus towers. And as it gets down to 50% health, the team doesn't even need to do anything. They do go ahead and make their way onto Bagut, as the autos are just flailing from Valak, and that's going to be 2 members out of principle. They just want to get one more kill, but that is going to be all she wrote for game number 1, Zephyr versus Conduit, and Zephyr is unfortunately not the victors here as they fall 0-1 in the series. But Becky, that was very close up until, like, I would say the team fight around Baron is definitely the splitting decision. It was really... Yeah. It was in Conduit's favor. It was still, like, in their favor up until that point of the game. But really, that whole entire fight either lost the morale, I don't know, the indecisiveness. It was a 5v4. They killed the Echo before anything. Like you said, if they either would have just turned off the Baron, it was at 3k health. Even if Amumu would have fully engaged, there's no possible way he could have stole it. So they could have went ahead and focused, did whatever they needed to, but unfortunately they just went ahead, tried to get it down. The bandage toss, CC'd the correct person, followed up by the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and the rest was history as we saw from there.
Yeah, in those situations, and this is something that I, again, as a professional gold player, you have to, it's really tough for teams at this level to really make that kind of decisive call, because you're always going to be sort of second guessing yourself. You don't necessarily have, maybe you just don't have that kind of confidence in terms of, okay, can we kill this? Especially because of how slow it was going. Maybe they felt, well, maybe we don't take it, but then they realized that they had a bit more time because, you know, the other team was still just coming in from mid lane. They could have had enough time. They're like, well, maybe we do take it. But it's those things where when you make a call as a team, you all have to be on the same page. Even if it's the wrong call, you have to cooperate. You have to... It's better to make a bad play as 5 people than have, like, one good play that's being done by 2 people and then the other 3 people are doing a bad play or whatever, right? You want to have everybody on the same page, because if the other team is on the same page and you are not, they are going to have the upper hand. And I think we saw that really shine there when they went for that Baron. The entirety of Conduit were on the same page. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They got Hoodie Man into the pit. They went for that flip. Still could have gone either way. The fact that the smite came down early was just what what Conduit wanted. It's what they were hoping for. And it did end up panning out for them. But I think that because of there were still some strengths on Flannel's roster. I think that Regdor and Lane played very well. Had a 30 CS lead, took that turret, had a really solid laning phase, had a huge lead going into that mid game, but it's just everything fell apart at that Baron. Varus got 4 kills. They lost a lot of tempo because the map got cracked open so quickly. And then it just seemed like the team couldn't bring themselves back together. But they have some time. They have a break. We can see if they can mentally refresh themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we see these kinds of things happen all the time. Game number 1, usually it's like a stomp and then it's a stomp the other way, but this game was so close early on. And Jinx, like you mentioned, had like a consistent 20-30 farm lead over the Varus the entirety of that game up until the point of that, unfortunate team fight there. And yeah, just wasn't quite able to pop off. I mean, the score right above us here, 4-4-4 on the TF, didn't quite make as big of an impact as we thought he would make, with the global ultis here, but still definitely had an impact overall, participation of kills, 8 out of the 9 of his whole entire team. So definitely not bad. That's like a 91% an A on any test, of course. So, great job coming in from Conduit for securing game number 1 there, getting the positioning and getting in the right spots for Varus to just go ahead, keep on doing that damage that he needs to do, playing it safe, because the landing phase definitely wasn't going to be in their favor, especially with that Blitzcrank there. But I really liked this game. I can't wait for game number 2. And I think while we get ready and set up for game number 2, we are going to cut it to a short little break. Do not go anywhere. Becky Rita and myself, Ryline, will be right back with all the action. Alrighty, welcome back, all of you wonderful, wonderful people. It is your boy Ryline and Becky Rita here, and we're bringing you all the action for the BOL Gold League, week number 7, as we have Flannel Zephyr versus Conduit Prime for tonight's matchup. And Zephyr unfortunately fell a little bit short to Conduit here in game number 1 as they fall behind 0-1, but that's okay as we have a nice little refresh here going into game number 2. And we are starting draft right off rip. Everyone knows exactly what's going down. The first 3 bands coming in, as we did switch sides, Conduit's on blue now. We have Warwick, Volibear, and Lilia. And from Flannel Zephyr, we have the Mordekaiser, obviously, the Skarner, obviously, and the Ashe. Jinx being the first pickup, along with the Varus, kind of same picks, but just flipping sides now. The picks themselves, I mean. Varus was picked up last game by Flannel Zephyr, and Jinx was picked up last game by Conduit. Becky.
You know, I am curious if it really changes anything. I think it's going to come down to what supports they pick here. It looks like we're going to go for the Renata with the Varus, and the Lulu will once again be picked for Conduit's side here. Renata so early feels kind of bad. Like, you aren't super enthusiastic about picking Renata when you don't see more of the team to figure out, Renata's ultimate is her best tool. So you want to make sure that you are able to get the most out of it. And Jinx is obviously one of those champions where later in the game, if you tag her with the Berserk, she can kill her own teammates very easily. But if it's just Jinx that you're getting value off of with your ultimate, it feels bad. It's not like really do a whole lot. They aren't going to really be able to pressure the Renata, I feel. So I think the lane should still be favorable to Flannel, but it really just depends on how the Jinx, I guess, maybe there's something I haven't really played a lot of Renata or Lulu recently, so I can't say one way or the other. We have our mid lanes here, although Yone is still a flex. But yeah, Aesol will be picked up for Conduit, and the Yone will be picked up for Flannel.
I like the spread of the damage a little bit more. I mean, he had the TF last time, which was pretty good. He went 4-4-4, so pretty even across the map. But definitely wants to get something, I think, a little bit more oomph behind that push there. So locking in the Yone, which you said might be flex, but I'm leaning more towards mid more than likely here, as both top laners have yet to show themselves, and they're getting rid of a lot of key components from the first game synergy that they had. So the Mordekaiser and the Amumu, definitely great synergy, great frontliners as well. Getting rid of both of them, definitely a good pick, I think, by Flannel here. And there wasn't really any picks that I think were any different last time. No, they had the same exact bans, except for the Yone. They actually let that one through this time. Because it was banned in the final 2, so they said, okay, we'll pick up the Yone in the first round here. But every other ban coming in from Conduit Prime has been the exact same, so they haven't faltered from that. And with the Yone, that might be the difference maker that Flannel needed to go ahead and secure this dub and make it an even series 1-1. Diana is going to be the follow-up pickup here, getting a little bit of AP action. I expect that to be the Diana jungle. And Shen with Rammus. Once again, 2 beefy frontliners here, and the global shield coming in from Shen as well is going to make it a little bit difficult after level 6 for them to get any kind of like picks. And the Yone Yasuo Hovered, not exactly locked in just yet. Hovered, the Wind Brothers. If that's the case, I'm gonna go with that like what I would go into for these 2 monsters that are Shen and Rammus. But if they feel comfortable enough, which they don't, they're going to lock in that Udyr once again. And I think it's going to be Udyr back to the top side because he was doing a fantastic job last game on the Udyr. So, I think that was a pretty good pick. And, going into Shen, who's someone a little bit more passive, not as dually as Mordekaiser there, I think Udyr might actually flourish a little bit more this game.
Yeah, I think the Udyr is definitely going to have a bit of an easier time into the Shen, I think. Definitely Sure, once Shen has that, the dodge field, but once that is taken away, Udyr is able to just kind of run Shen over, especially early on. So I do like the composition that Flannel have put together again, but Conduit has a very strong 2-threat late game composition. And the onus is going to be on Flannel early on to make the most of the tools that Yone and Diana have to try and, stop the Asol in his tracks. Go down, take care of Jinx and Lulu. They are pretty squishy down there. And once the game gets later on, it's going to come down to whether or not they can play around the Rammus and the Shen properly. That's a lot of taunts. It's by the way, a lot of taunts here from the Rammus and Shen. So we'll see if that ends up mattering. I did like Flannel's comp last game. Didn't end up working out for them. As always, I tend to favor the composition that's trying to play for the later game. So even though I like the tools that Flannel have, I would prefer having Conduit's comp if I was playing in this game.
I definitely agree with that statement. I think it's definitely a much more cohesive composition. You have your tank top lane, you have your tank jungler, you have your nice hyper carries in the ADC in the mid roll, and then you have a nice utility Lulu as the support. Cannot complain with that setup at all. Flannel Zephyr has, I don't want to call it risk reward factor, but if Yone does not get early kills, that doesn't really necessarily matter. He can go 0-10, still pop off late game. He's one of the Win brothers, you know what I mean? The big difference maker though, and you already mentioned that Renata, I'm not too comfortable with the Renata until the late game there, which means in order for the Jinx to be the very dangerous hyperscaler and Asol to be the dangerous hyperscaler that they want and love, they have to get to that late game, and that means she's going to be popping off. And I don't know if they have the necessary composition to withstand a Jinx that pops off. There's not really a lot of frontline for them. Diana can go tanky, but I think she's going to be going more like AP assassin this round. Get onto the back line, ulti, boom, pull everyone together, and do that kind of thing. Set up for the Yone more than likely, or have the Renata set up for the Yone. Udyr, we saw how powerful he was splitting last game in the 4-1. And, he was able to apply pressure top, allowed his team to go ahead and open up, get the dragon a lot as they were focusing on him most of the time up there. They weren't able to secure the soul, unfortunately, but still. Lots of good options, lots of good play here, but I have to agree with you 100%. Conduit Prime, I think, has the better late game scaling champions. They definitely have the more cohesive, traditional composition, and Flannel Zephyr, just based off last game, I'm just a little bit iffy just on the playmaking call-outs that they're going to be doing. If we have a repeat of that Baron once again, that might 2-0 it, but we'll definitely have to see. But my vote, definitely going with Conduit Prime here for game number 2.
All right. Well, with that said, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be in the game for this game. Will Flannel turn it around, tie us up, or will Conduit bring us to an early evening? We'll have to see, so stick around. We'll have the action coming at you after a quick break.
Alrighty, welcome back, all you wonderful, wonderful people. It is your boy Rylion and Becky Rita here, bringing you all the action. We have BOL Gold Week number 7, of course, here. Game number 2 between Flannel, Zephyr, and Conduit Prime. Flannel's going to be on red side this game, with Conduit being on the blue side. Flannel, unfortunately, is down 0-1 in this series to Conduit, as they did take over in commanding fashion on the second half of game number 1 there. But everyone doing a nice traditional 5-point start. Looking at the runes and masteries. We do have flashes now for the top side, so no more ghost. And we do have the double TP action, so I expect these team fights to be just as action-packed as last game, Becky.
Yeah, we're going to see some action here on the Rift for sure. So we got the spinning. Woo! Woo!
I love that skin so much. Hextech skins in general, Victorious skins, they used to mean something, but now Riot just hands anything out, so they don't really mean that much anymore.
Yeah, I suppose that can be true. Looking at the game right now, we have the press the attack from the Udyr this game, as we have the Comet from Regdor this game. Could potentially indicate that this might be a lethality.
Yeah.
Varus, which would be fascinating. I guess, like, you know, if you're gonna get taunted to death, you might as well not have the attack speed to kill yourself on Rammus. Maybe, you know, focusing on trying to poke down those backline members, because, you know, probably not. It's gonna be pretty difficult for Varus, even on hit, because of how these champions build. It will be kind of difficult for him to kill them without killing himself. So maybe we could see that lethality this game. I'm never sold on it until it's actually like killing people, though. So we'll have to see if it is lethality. Could still be on hit just with Comet to help with some lane poke, but I sincerely doubt it's on hit if we don't have lethal tempo. Still have the ghost, though, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely, you know, just to be able to at least escape the Varus, even though that's a lot of movement speed to get out of, especially with the Shen ulti. I mean, there's a whole lot that you're going to have to do to position yourself, right? But lethality, I don't think would be too terrible. And here we already have the Varus. Yep, coming into the lane here for a nice early gank. There goes the Ghost, but, ooh, and burns the Flash as well. Goes ahead and tries to taunt the Renata, does get some damage off, forces the Flash off on the Renata as well, as Kevbo definitely says, hey, I don't want any part of that, and you know what that means. That's going to be a repeat gank opportunity. You have no wards, you have no sums. I would be banging my face on the keyboard, begging for another gank to get a first blood kill on bot lane.
Yeah, it is. That's not good. It is very not good for the Renata here. Renata Varus, both of them super immobile, and it's very rough now with the Rammus, who can still be around bot side here. You know, has his chickens up, he can take those really quick, then the scuttle if he wants to, and he can then opt into going for a regank if the lane looks particularly juicy. However, I think with that in mind, Regdor and Kevbo are probably going to play a little safe tower.
Yep, they have to go ahead and get prepared for this little skirmish with Tyler, but Tyler has Flash. He was close enough to tower as well, so he's going to walk out of there with just a little scratch on the knee. And taking advantage of the ganks from Hoodie Man here, we have Bagut, who's just going to take advantage of the CS lead and make his way over to top side. Shen now finds himself in a precarious situation, dashes out of there. Nice taunt to go ahead and stop the aggro coming from Bagut. Keeps the Flash, so doesn't even use any summoner spells. Oh, and with a sliver of health left, Rammus looking for a nice tower dive onto the bot side. He definitely can do it. But no, never mind. He's just going to go for the Gromps instead.
Oh, Regdor is so low here. I think, you know, a stray zap could be the end of his life force if he's not careful. Yeah, they're gonna send Tyler here to try and prevent a potential dive opportunity. Regdor's gonna take a bit of damage, get tagged by the Glitter Lance, but yeah, no follow-up from the Jinx there means that Regdor is able to actually recall, as Null has a lot of damage onto Final Captain, but his mana bar is not looking great. Could still see a potential kill. That ulti is available. No, it's still charging. It's still charging.
Yeah.
Right, it's the bar below Udyr. You see, I'm the one playing Udyr, so I don't see the bar. So it's like
More of a feeling.
yeah, it was like it's probably up. No, there it is. It's up now, so we could see a potential attempt at a kill here from Null. Does have the flash. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there is a possibility if Final Captain doesn't play safe, but I think they'd also just trade flashes at that point.
All day. I definitely agree with you, and, you know, both have to be prepared, though, but we do have a third member. We have the Yon making his way to the Grubbins as well, as he was prepared for Hoodie Man to probably make his way up there. Diana, being about 13 CS ahead, is going to go ahead and have the level advantage as well. Captain cannot help around the Grubbins at all, as Red Team goes ahead and steals the first Void. Grubs, Kevin is down, and Ramus said, you know what, this is not worth my life. Sorry, y'all, we're going to be losing a little bit of the jungle advantage here, as Diana goes ahead and takes that with ease. And this is kind of a little bit different gameplay than we saw last time. I mean, right now Conduit, who is on blue side once again, Zephyr's on red side, they're kind of falling a little bit behind. And look at this Hoodie falling even further behind, as he is forced off of his own jungle, and he can't do nothing. He's down levels, he's down CS. There's no kills on the board at all at 7 minutes right now, and that's because the junglers have not been able to do anything. Or it's not that they haven't been able to do anything. Diana's been choosing to just farm here, and here comes the descent coming in from Asol, but FNL Tyler knew that the roam was on the way, and yeah, that's going to be a first blood. Very swiftly picked up here from Zephyr, and a good old thumbs up from Udyr as they spread that assisted gold.
I don't think that was a smart decision from Razors there. Diving in with that ultimate, it wasn't even an enhanced ultimate. He just dropped it on to the Udyr to interrupt the recall. But then, like, Tyler was right behind you, and you're walking into two people, and Hoodie Man's not there, and Final Captain does have the stand united, but it's unfortunate. Definitely good for Tyler to, you know, make sure to follow that opportunity, clean that up. As we're seeing one of the weaknesses of Ramus here is Ramus is turbo slow at taking anything on the map.
My God.
So he needs to have backup at all times to take any objective, which is why part of the reason why that grub take up topside was so egregious and it went so south so quickly is just the fact that they couldn't do anything. Is now we have a fight.
Oh, yes, we do. And there goes the Fate Seal. It's going to go ahead and seal the fate of at least two members. But hold on 1 second. The shield coming in from the Shen here. And now a 4v5 has turned into the favor of Conduit, as they do get the kill off onto the Diana and secure the first dragon of the game as well. So that is one of the advantages of having a Shen once again available here. Jinx being able to pick up that kill as well, but that did leave the top lane open, as teleport was already used earlier by Final Captain to get back into lane. So that allows Udyr to go ahead and get a couple of plates. And, you know, even though they were able to secure the first blood, they're still down, though, by about 1k gold because of just the CS difference right now in the lanes. And, you know, I just hope this lead can continue for Zephyr. You know, if they start to fall behind on the hyperscaling Jinx, that's not what they want, especially on a lethality Varus. As he gets tagged by the W. Oh, no, the zaps are coming through, but Bagoot says, hold on 1 second, I am here. Do not worry, my friends. The ultimate's going to go ahead and get popped, and Helium is able to go ahead and make it out of there. The ulti, nope, unfortunately, not going to do it. Bagoot is able to go ahead and get some nice cheeky damage back onto Regdor, but no, not able to secure anything off of that, as he just buckles back down to his tower, and one additional kill now is given on over to Zephyr.
Yeah, for some reason I thought there was a stand united there, but that was definitely not it. Null 5 is looking to blast away the wall up here.
Yeah, he is. That's a lot of damage, and both flashes being burned here. No, the reaction, it had to have been at that moment in time. He was waiting for it. And I thought, okay, maybe he's just going to walk away. Maybe he's just going to allow him to step into the tower. But no, he was greedy. He wanted that. Not greedy. He was thirsty for it. Definitely wanted that kill there, but I think that's kind of a win though in favor of Udyr. He's able to get Shen off of the wave. He's able to crash the wave. He's able to secure more plating as well, and grow the CS lead. But hold on one second, Hoodie Man making his way over to the top side. Oh, the taunt is right in favor, or right in range. I'm sorry, of the tower, but nah. Not enough tower shots, as Hoodie Man has, like you said, negative damage. I'm pretty sure he was healing Udyr every single time that he got slapped around.
Yeah. We do have a pinch around to the grubs here.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we do. Nice ultimate, and the Super Mega Death Rocket misses a little bit wide here. Unfortunately, a great engage by Diana. Oh, there goes the Renata W, but no, it's not going to be enough. The Fate Sealed goes ahead and does get one. Null 5, sitting with a sliver of health left. Final Captain, not able for a final slap. Oh, so unfortunate, as I think the trade was 1 for 2 there in favor, once again, of Zephyr, as both the Rammus and the A-Soul fall. And yeah, they're maneuvering, they're like rotating, but they've got no damage at all. Nothing. There was 2 descents being used by Razor that I didn't even think the second one, it just stopped. It just went away. I think he died before it even made impact.
Yeah, the rotation there from Conduit was more like the rotation of the plate in the microwave. You know, it's not very, it does kind of do something, but, you know, you still take it out and half of your Hot Pocket is frozen solid. So, I don't know where I was going with that. That was terrible. The point is, that was a really sloppy rotation. And I think Flannel was just able to punish that. They were able to be faster on the draw. They found a good angle in with the Diana ultimate, with the Fate Sealed. And once they got those 2 champions in it there, you know, it's not quite...
Regdor, yeah, getting a little bit... Oh, iffy, yeah, no, Super Mega Death Rocket flashed out of that. Great job for just holding on Regdor, and I'm not gonna lie, I mean, between the Gatling and the Rockets, you have to stick with the Gatling for the most part, you know? Get that extra damage off. Okay, but no, still a great engage though. I thought Rammus was gonna commit a little bit harder as Varus, I'm sorry, was alone on the bot side. Is gonna choose to stick around because Renata, you know, went ahead and roamed there a little bit, but Regdor, you know, he's doing a much better job this time keeping up in farm than what Valak did on Varus last game against the Jinx.
Yeah, and this is lethal. This is still, again, a lethality Varus, who gets stronger way faster than Jinx does. He has finished the opportunity that has been completed there, which means that's a huge power spike this early on. And now we have Hoodie Man potentially looking for something. I don't think it's going to amount to anything, though. Yeah, no, we're just dashing in to say hello. Setting up around the Drake, Conduit have the first move there. TP is available for Null 5 and Final Captain. The Stand United is also available. I'm unsure if Flannel are going to look for this, though. Bagut is standing around. The Fate Sealed is up. Tyler has the ability to move, but Razor's the one to make the first move on the top side. Null 5 has obliterated that first turret before plates have even dropped.
Nice. I mean, yeah, he's been absolutely relentless there, and I think Hoodie Man just made a business decision to get out. Definitely. Diana already has a Gnasher's Tooth, like you mentioned. You know, Yon just finished his Kraken Slayer, actually, as we're speaking. So he's like, you know what? They can have the Dragon. Tries to make his way to the top side to make anything occur. There's the double taunt that you were talking about earlier. But once again, this is an Udyr we're talking about. Ulti's going to get popped from Rammus. He's going to go ahead and get into the face. Once again, the taunts on cooldown should be up in just a moment here. But that press the attack is too strong. He's going to go ahead, gets the kill up on Rammus, and he is outie. The dash goes through, misses barely. Wow. The coattails, you can kiss it, Shen, you can kiss it, Hoodie, and walks out of there like the manly man that he is. Dad bod Udyr for the win. Zephyr is doing a great job. Once again, we talked about...
Oh, wait, Razor took him down. LOL.
Oh,
feels bad.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Spoke too soon.
Yep, you're bad. All right. We're going to move on to the next point. So I do think that was pretty good from Null regardless. In terms of making that escape, there was a possibility, I think. They double tapped E. And I think if W was up, potentially they could have gone for the double tap W, heal a bunch of HP, and then just turn that back around onto Shen. I think they had the damage. They did still have the completed Titanic Hydra. They had way more power than Shen did. Shen had no cooldowns in the tank aside from his E exactly, which wasn't even up immediately. So I think there was a possibility if 05 double taps W, could have gotten a second kill there. But either way, I feel like you aren't necessarily too upset about that, considering.
Oh my goodness! Hold on one second. We got some major action happening onto the bot lane here. Renato popped the ulti earlier. Was it enough? Yes, it was for just a moment. But here we go. Regdor does get slain, unfortunately here, as Shen with the Stand United made his way to the bot lane, and now we have the dragon coming in as well. The Star's Descent does fall, and Shen gets the kill, a double kill picked up by the captain himself. And they are going to take advantage once again of the movement. Gets the Rift Herald into the top side, given on over to Bagut and 05 with Yon into the mid lane. This probably is going to be a tier 1 tower falling, but that's a lot of mobility between the Rammus and the Acel there. Rift Herald does get popped. They are going to go ahead and use it, crash it into it. Tier 1 tower is gone. Fate Seal does land. The Super Mega Death Rocket misses just a little bit wide, and he is stuck underneath tower now. Bagut was the aggressor, now is the aggressee, does fall. Final Captain is on a killing spree. Third kill here. Tries to go ahead, Tokyo drip Rift Herald. I don't know what he's doing. Had the opportunity to run, didn't do it. And down he goes. What was a really nice engage and start from Zephyr turned into neutral territory. 7-7 now as Conduit has evened up the scoreboard. Still down by about 3k gold though.
Yeah, that hop into the Herald, what was that, a Cybertruck? It just exploded on 05, killing him instantly. Holy guacamole, that was a terrible idea. I have no, I don't have anything. You know, my mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm going to move on from the Herald there. It's good for Conduit Prime. They are finding better opportunities. In that bot lane fight, we did have, you know, it was a 2-for-1 there for a little bit there. Regdor got a kill, Renata got a kill, but then, you know, Razors is finally starting to get some levels, getting those skill points in to move around the map easier, and that allowed him to just get down to bot lane, clean that up. And then the rest of Flannel just kind of started to, you know, forget what they're doing, as we do have a flash, but you're not catching him ever.
No, that press the attack here. He's going for the jugular this game. That's a lot of damage, and I think he's going to stick to that 4-1 comp, which I highly suggest. I mean, that's just phenomenal. He can 1v1, 1v2 even at the moment, you know, and they have to send their biggest players, and if they do that, that's just going to leave an opening here for Zephyr to go ahead and take advantage. But, I mean, right now, like you said, they're not completely out of it. They are giving up a little bit of their early lead that they had on the side of Zephyr here, but still 2-0 on the Yon. Hold on one second here. We do have Hoodie. Yeah, he is on the way. Nice taunt is going to go ahead and land on the Kev Boy. Ooh. Oh, Kev Boy does go ahead. I was going to say, but no, the taunt. He's like, he's going to get to the plants, but no. Unfortunately, the taunt was just a little bit too strong there. That double taunt is kind of nasty, I'm not going to lie. If they're timing it correctly, that's like a CC chain of like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Kind of nasty.
Yeah, Rammus taunt is one of those. He's one of those classic champions that still gets the ability to have like a 3-second point-and-click CC.
Nice. Stand of Corruption is going to go ahead and land onto the mid lane. Hold on one second. Valak is going to go ahead and get poked down. There goes that lethality various combo we were talking about. FNL Tyler said, Helium, I see you. Unfortunately, have to return back to base, but do not worry. I got a fate sealed for you later on. Meanwhile, Hoodie Man running for his life right now against these two aggressors, and 05 got a solo kill, I think, on the top side on the Razors there. That is kind of unreal. Helium, don't know what he thinks he's going to do as a support, but thinks he's going to do something. And Hoodie still running on the pursuit is the rest of Conduit. I'm sorry, Zephyr here, but yeah, no. Just make it out of there. Take your wins and leave. We've seen what the overextending does consistently, and you don't want to fall victim to that. Yeah,
good escape there from Hoodie Man, but yeah, Zephyr did get the kind of collapse they've been looking for. I want to say 05 on the side is a super huge threat this game, especially since the Flannel have the 6 grubs. As oh god, I've seen this story before. Oh god,
no.
oh no, oh.
They have no vision.
Yeah, they aren't even suspecting it.
No, but they made the wise decision to abandon. That's the only difference here. So last time it was Conduit who put themselves in this position, and you know, I thought they were gonna bait the Baron. They saw that the animations were going off, but no, they're like, we're not even gonna risk it. Plus Udyr being a huge threat onto the bot side or just in the side lanes in general, he's gonna go ahead and apply that across the map pressure. So even if they do get Baron, they're still gonna be losing things across the map here, and that's the best thing right now that Conduit can do. They took that little break between Games 1 and Games 2 very, very seriously. They said, Udi, you are our best tool. We're going to go ahead and play around you. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're setting a perfect opportunity right now for Udyr to be the menace that he wanted to be last game.
Yeah, Udyr is a huge menace right now. We're seeing the trade from 05 up here. Final Captain actually getting the favorable side, at least right now.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, Shen is very, very strong. Has the Bomby Cinder, has the Titanic Hydra as well. Yeah, he's pretty good. And the taunts can't really say anything to that. Has 100% kill participation, 4-0 and 4. He's either been there doing the killing or been there shielding from the killing. So great job on that. I mean, Final Captain has been, I think, like one of the most pivotal points for Conduit in general. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, for Conduit.
Yeah, for Conduit in both of these games. The Final Captain, the Mordekaiser in the first game basically negated so much of what Flannel wanted to do. And then in this game, the Shen has started to ramp up really hard. And, you know, Udyr is not tanky. This is a fully DPS Udyr right now. He's a bruiser, so he's gonna have to he's gonna be fine. He's gonna get out. It is still Udyr. He's fast. Shen doesn't have that much speed and mobility aside from Shadow Dash exactly, but you know, he still is going to be able to pressure here now. And 05, as we saw in that trade down there, he actually doesn't win into the Shen now. So unfortunately, we thought this Udyr was in a pretty good position, but now the Shen is going to be the one who has that priority, and 05 going to clear that wave out. Kind of, we're still staying here. Yeah. Definitely, it's a little sketchy. I'm sweating a little bit, but Shen will complete the recall. We have an
Oh my goodness. Yes, we do. Nice ultimate, nice setup here, but Diana has other news for them. Great job getting off to the back line. They were not a W. Unfortunately, not able to go ahead and keep Regdor of online here, but Hoodie Max and the rest of the squad are available with the Stand United here. Nice knockback. Kevbo, unfortunately, has to give up his life, but that's all right. The Yone is able to make it to safety, and Udyr is still pushing out that bot lane. That's the only thing there. Shen is the only one that can answer the Udyr at the moment, but the thing is when he has to be present for these team fights, either saving them with the shields or saving them with the taunts, you know, you have to give up that pressure on bot lane there. And while they take advantage of the 3 members that are dead on the side of Zephyr, they do make their way on over to the Baron. And hold on one second, Yone, even though the Fate Sealed is not available and has half health, let's see if he's able to go ahead and do anything. Razor is very, very low. And no, he's not gonna get it, unfortunately. Yeah. He was just like a half a second sooner. That's a lot of taunts, my boy. What are you doing?
He's actually just gonna die. He walked in and died. He walked in for no reason and died. Awesome. Cool. Great job. So, you know the Baron's gone. You don't have backup. You see that they're full HP, and you keep walking? I again, don't have anything nice to say. Don't say anything at all. Great stuff from Conduit to get that Baron. They were able to just, you know, they found a good opportunity. They pushed Flannel back. They got a good pick into the mid lane. That engage there from Hoodie Man on to Regdor was insane. It almost looked like it was going to get turned around. Bagoot found a really solid ultimate. The Moonfall there was fantastic, especially in combination with the Renata ultimate, but it just wasn't enough damage, and especially as Razor arrived to flip that fight once again back around. You know, it was very back and forth there, but in the end, Conduit was able to get the advantage, and now Tyler might be looking for no. Okay, he will not go any further.
Okay, so they pushed down the tier 2 mid tower, and they're gonna go ahead and push down the tier 2 top tower as well. I think that's a smart move. I thought Tyler was gonna go a little bit harder in the paint. That's the reason why I was a little bit worried for a second. But
yeah, I was scared too. Don't worry. We have a TP. That's null 5.
Yeah, 2v3 right now onto the bot side. Null 5 and Tyler, two very, very strong people to go up against right now. As Tyler was just got his first death a couple moments ago, as we saw that unfortunate play there near the Baron. But, you know, the Baron, even though it was picked up, they haven't really been able to utilize it all that much, or even at all. The only thing that they did was just really stop Zephyr from being able to get it, which is a victory all on its own. I'm not going to argue with that. But still not being able to fully, you know, push any side lanes or push anything at all, siege in any way, shape, or form, kind of is unfortunate. Udyr making his way back to the top lane here to meet Final Captain, but as this game continues there, Becky, you know, 3k gold lead still in favor of Zephyr here. Do you think they have what it takes to close it out? Oh my god, hold on one second. A lot of pressure happening. Final Captain, this turned very, very quickly here. The Stairks Gauge, the simultaneous flash once again. I think they might be lovers because they are definitely intertwined here. Final Captain able to go ahead and get out of there, even though the speed of the Udyr is unmatched. He does not want to waste time chasing down that Singed, or I'm sorry, that Shen just to get baited. So, good call.
Yeah, you know, that definitely would have gone in Null 5's favor. We're starting to see it turn, the scales tip back towards the Udyr in this 1v1. Both these top laners are hugely important. Ooh, Bagoot. It's very close there to grab that as the blue, I believe, yeah, the blue got stolen.
Oh my god.
As Hoodie Man's way too far forward.
Rammus comes right into the action. He wants all the smoke here. There goes the ultimate coming in from the Asol, and wow, that's actually going to be Bagoot who's going to be begotten, and Null 5 is going to be the next one onto the map. Yeah, and that is a Renata ulti. One member does get taken out by the Jinx there, and we do have a slight little pause. Once again, not quite sure what happened, but Riot Client, you can't really blame it all that much. They are a small indie company, but this game, once again, going to the limits right now, 14-12, 27 minutes in. And, you know, even though the kills are in favor of Conduit, who's up 1-0 in the series right now, the gold and the pressure, the macro, the everything has been in favor of Zephyr here. They're up by 2k gold at the moment. They've got 6 Grublings. They've gotten 2 Dragons. They have 6 towers on the map right now. I mean, they're doing fantastic. And, you know, coming from a game last game where they kind of gave up an important team fight, they definitely didn't let it affect them. And this game's going the distance. I think we might get a game 3 out of this.
It's entirely possible. Unfortunately, one of the things I'm kind of worried about is we're getting further into the game. Asol and Jinx are still ramping up. And as the game goes on to these later stages, it's going to come down to whether or not Zephyr has, you know, whether or not the Yone and the Diana can find those good angles to get on that Jinx or get on that Asol and take them out immediately. Because if you can't take out one of those carries, or one or both of those carries, it's very easy for your team to just fall apart, because all Jinx needs is one reset. And that's the end of your existence. So
that is true.
It's going to be tough, I think, regardless of the fact that Zephyr does have a lot of pressure around the map, has more turrets, has all those grubs, has the ability to end the game very quickly if they find an opportunity. The thing is that they have to find that opportunity. And it's really tough for them to do that into a team that is so hard to crack into as Conduits is right now. So we'll have to see. I believe, are we still paused? All right, while we are All right, while we are still paused, we're going to go ahead and go to a small break as we wait for the players to get back into it. When we come back, we'll be back on the Rift, of course. So stick around. We'll hopefully be back pretty quick.
Alrighty, welcome back, all you wonderful, wonderful people. It's your boy Rylion here, and we are back in all the action. Spectator Bug has been taking care of the Fate Sealed, right back into the middle of it, onto Final Captain. Final Captain, unfortunately, gets everything blocked. Insane. Great reaction there from Final Captain and the rest of the team, of course. But man, that was really close as 3 members die for just 1. On the side of Conduit here, definitely heavily favored as they make their way down the mid lane and take down that tier 2 mid lane tower.
Yeah, good little siege there from Conduit there as they get that mid lane tower down. They crack that little piece there. But as we continue to kind of observe how this game is going, once again, the gold lead is still narrowly in favor of Flannel, but at this point, I would like to actually see where this gold is allocated right now. And
Good
see how
idea.
oh right, hotkeys are broken. Never mind.
Ah, yes.
I
Spectator
forgot.
bugs.
Never mind. That was fun.
Oh, man.
Well, we can only imagine then, viewers, picture in your head where this gold might be allocated. Considering where the bounties are, it looks like obviously the ASOL has a significant lead over Tyler, right? That's 50 CS, several kills, several assists. This ASOL is huge right now, and I would also say that the Jinx is probably at least, Wall might have a gold lead. Regdor does still have that item lead, fortunately, because those lethality items are a bit on the cheaper side. So has that those 3 items on the Varus there, while Jinx is still about a component away from the next item, which I think is going to be... I'm trying to think of what other Zeal items this could be, but we do have a potential gank. Here comes ASOL.
Yes, indeed. ASOL, Rammus, the whole shebang. But that is an Udyr once again. He is the deer. He is fast, and I'm not talking about Lilia deer. But meanwhile, bot side, Yone does not have teleport available, so he's just going to be down there pushing all by his lonesome. They are in the numbers advantage, I believe, right now. Yes, they are. All 5 members in blue team goes ahead and takes the Baron with ease. Yone not able to really accomplish much. I believe he already had the tier 2 bot lane tower taken out. And this game has been kind of really slowed down for Zephyr. They were able to, start a lot of things. They're able to go ahead and get a lot of damage out. But Rammus is kind of the one that's now initiating, starting, and ending these fights. I mean, he's able to go ahead and taunt. That just allows the stand aside, or the stand united, to be activated by Shen there. And he's able to get into these team fights with 0 resistance at all, and save a lot of his teammates in addition to. So great job, but I don't know, everyone's dancing around this dragon right now, once again waiting, and the flank is a really weird attempt here coming in from Tyler as the taunts go through as well, but the chain of corpses does land from the flash forward. Valak has to flash out of there, and the ultimate gets popped up by Lulu here. Nice zone. He's going to go ahead and get popped onto Razor as he has absolutely no mana left, and the fate seals the fate of the dragon, and down they goes just like in the storybooks here. And Bagut gets onto the back line, takes down the Jinx, and heavily favor swinging on over to Zephyr here. Dragon is up, and I don't know if that's all that they want, though, as they now have 3 members down. They are going to go ahead and move on over to the neutral objective, push them on over to the Dragon Soul Point, but they also want to get a little bit more out of this. They are greedy, they are thirsty, they are wanting it, and I think they should also probably make a move for a tier 3 tower in either the top or the mid lane, which they're going to go ahead and opt in for the mid lane here. Takes the 3rd dragon, so that puts them on their point. Baron's up for just a little bit longer, but it is not going to be enough to stop this engage as they siege in and break into the base here. The first team to go ahead and crack that shell. Rammus just got up along with the rest of the death timers, and the rest of Zephyr makes their way into the safety of the jungle.
Yeah, Zephyr are able to get back into the jungle, sneak their way in there, and that gives them the ability to get out after just getting a couple of, getting a little bit more in terms of objectives there, which is good. That's what you want to see. You want to see some of those turrets. You want to see, especially with those grubs, make the most of it. But we are very evened out right now. Gold still in favor of Flannel, of course, due to the huge lead of CS in the jungle and all of the turrets that have been taken at this point for Flannel, along with, the grubs and the drakes. A lot of these objectives.
Those were
the shutdowns
huge
as well. Those shutdowns made a very sizable difference as Sal is looking for Valak.
Yep, Tyler, though, he's going to go ahead and make his way into the polymorph, and the taunts are going to go ahead and get him off, down to about 40% health here. But they said, you know what, this is the perfect time to counter-engage. Regdor is going to go ahead and find himself between a Rammus and the terrain here. Nice zap to go ahead and stop the Renata in her tracks, and it's going to be 2 members down now as the Excite passive is popped up for Valak. Still looking for blood here. Meanwhile, bot side, Udyr trying to push, but definitely needs to be present for the team as the tier 3 is going to be cracked open, and down goes that Inhib is next up. They weren't even able to get the return Inhib on the side of Conduit's base, unfortunately. So that is going to be Supers plowing in within the next couple of moments here. We have a nice, I'm sorry, not a nice, a dive coming in from Rammus. That's a lot of tower shots coming in, Buckaroo, and that is going to be enough to go ahead and take him down. But hold on one second, the Dragon Breath from the Asol, a little bit smelly, as Udyr does not give a care in the world. The base race definitely not in their favor, and that is just going to be a game given on over to Conduit as they end the series 2-0. I thought there was going to be a little bit more urgency fighting, but that was just like you know what? Here you go. Conduit is just going to go ahead and clean it up, and Zephyr falls, unfortunately, 0-2 in this series here. They were up for a good portion of the game in terms of gold. You know, they were doing great macro-wise. It's always these just one unfortunate team fights that are leading to their demise. That's it. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I think that is what the win condition of Conduit was looking for that one team fight. You know, that's why they have Asol, that's why they have Jinx. They want to get to that late game point, and then all they need is one good fight. And it requires the side of Flannel to be on point at all times. And unfortunately, it just looked like Flannel were sort of not able to execute on the composition that they had as effectively as they probably would have wanted. They weren't able to as consistently get onto Valak. They weren't able to really shut down the Asol. They were just kind of stopped in their tracks, especially by Final Captain and Hoodie Man both. Final Captain playing insanely well this series. The Shen was an absolute monster this game. It had the most damage in the game. Definitely a huge factor. You know, a lot of that is just punching Udyr over and over again, so it's a little inflated, but either way, it is still quite a lot of damage, and it shows that sometimes I do think that I still like Flannel's comp in what the choices they made in trying to take out the Jinx and the Asol, but unfortunately, it just, in these kinds of leagues where everything is on a knife's edge, the more difficult comp to execute tends to be the one that doesn't succeed. And unfortunately, like, this was a tough comp to execute from Flannel. So I give them props for trying it, but it didn't work out in the end.
I think that last team fight, instead of going for the dragon, I think they could have actually pushed and ended. I'm not going to lie. Even though they still had Baron, I believe the only members that were up at that point in time were Lulu and Rammus, if I'm not mistaken. So really not a whole lot that they can do to stop the siege that was the 4 remaining members of Flannel. So, you know, there was like 25 to 30-second death timers on 3 of the most important damage output members coming in from Conduit. I would have taken advantage of the numbers. It was a 4v2, if I'm not mistaken, and they could have just pushed and ended, but instead wanted to go ahead and get this Dragon Soul Point, which didn't even end up helping them because immediately then they went ahead and pushed in. They didn't get the inhib, but they did crack open the base. You know, I just think that they could have utilized those death timers a lot more in that game number 2. And after that, I think that's when they realized that was not our only chance of winning, but our best chance of winning. And that last team fight, right as soon as the 2 members got caught out by accident, it was like, okay, the death timers are too grand. They can just go ahead and siege. They have everybody up. 2 of us are dead. And the rest was history for that one. But, you know, I did like Flannel's comp from the very beginning. I liked Conduit's a little bit more. I thought it was a little bit, like I said, the cohesion was, it's a little bit more traditional. That's the best word. Traditional coming in from Conduit. And you cannot beat the unfortunate 100% kill participation that was coming in from Shen that game. You could not beat that at all. He did an absolutely monstrous job of just locking in, saving his team, getting the damage out, and stopping the Udyr from split pushing all at the same time. So couldn't ask for anything better coming out from the Shen. They're definitely the MVP. But I think that pretty much covers everything, though, for this series. We had a couple technical problems and things along those lines, but still, the games were absolute bangers. Definitely went all the way to the edge of my seat. You know, I think it could have gone either way. It was just one unfortunate team fight there, and Zephyr was not able to go ahead and come out on top on just those last little team fights. But still a banger series here. But anything else that you want to go ahead and end up on, or any notations that you want to make on the game here that stood out to you?
No, I think that really well executed from Conduit. They played a really solid comp, and aside from a couple of little bit of mistakes as they are expected, it's not like we expect flawless play here. What matters is that they made few enough mistakes that they were still able to find their win conditions and get to the end. So huge props to Conduit for executing well this game.
Absolutely. Couldn't ask for anything better. And we do have an updated standings here posted into the chat as well. And I'm just curious, where does this put everybody here? So we have Conduit. Where are you at? I can't see. It's all too squished up. But you guys can see it. It's in the chat. So those are the current standings as of right now as we end week number 7 here in the BOL Gold League. And yeah. With that being said, I think it was an honor to cast tonight's game here with Becky Rita. Thank you so much. And Alls, of course, as always, with a wonderful production. And the rest of you guys that tuned in for tonight's matchup, thank you so very much for continuing to support us here at the Blue Otter League. I am your boy, Rydlion. This is Becky Rita here, and we are signing out. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Peace out.